till last year, nobody cared about this section. And to be fair to the students, yeah, rightly so. Why? Because they had cracked the formula. And it was very simple. All you had to do was mug up couple of popular PDFs just 15-20 days before the mains exam, and you were bound to get a 30 plus out of 40. But unfortunately, this formula has failed since last year, except that IBPS PO wala examination, IBPS PO 2020 means I'm talking about. Rest everywhere, the examiners have gone a step ahead. Even they have realized this shortcut that the students were using, and they are forcing you to read some more. And that has been the reason, I believe, for students sending us queries about what does Meritshine offer in its paid course for this GK section. We never used to get such queries, but yes, of late, because of this change in the pattern of examination, the students are curious to know what value we can add in this section. So this session is for those students who are interested in purchasing the paid course but are just waiting for some clarity about this GK section. So I'll try my level best to explain you what we have for you on offer in the GK section. That's the agenda for today. So others who are not interested in the paid course, you may leave now, because then after this session ends, you will say, "हमारे लिए कुछ नहीं बताया." No, this session is specifically for people who are confused about the GK section of our paid course. So let me handle that. For the open sessions, we'll continue to conduct it. Just before the examination, we have a lot of sessions, and that is what I'll try my level best to do. Even this time, I have support from our other mentor, Ravi Sir, also this time. So we'll try to do more than what we did maybe last year for all of you, even in the open session. Yeah, but this is only for people who are interested but are little confused about, yeah, or uncertain about what this GK section may Meritshine has got on offer for them. Alright, so let me get started with the session right away. So first of all, the GK, GA, CA, BA, FA section, we break it down into two parts. The first part, which is the current affair related, okay, anything except say banking awareness and financial awareness. I'll call this GK, GA, CA. For me, it's just the current affairs. That part I will be handling. And the BAFA, our finance faculty for the RBI course, he was kind enough to spare some time for us, and he has been handling it, and students are just loving the insight that he is giving in the finance part as well. So first, let me talk about your GK GSCA part. There we have four components. First one will be the daily news. Yeah, that's there in the master sheet format. It's also there in Word and PDF format. I'll explain to you in detail why so many formats, what is the need, what it contains, all that I'll come to. After you have gone through the daily news, you will be expected to take a daily quiz. Okay, and this quiz will test your in-depth reading of the news. It will not be just again the one-liner. It will not be so. Will test your in-depth understanding say jada reading of the piece of news. I'll explain all that in detail, and you will get more sense of it. Why we have done like that? How exactly that daily news wala part is different from the daily quiz wala part. I'll explain on that. But first, you are expected to read the news, then you are tested on the news. Then I'll take you through weekly GK ka live videos, right? That will contain all the news of the week, and I'll kind of read with you, because many students find it cumbersome reading on their own. They feel sleepy, so I'll read it for you. I'll give you some important, say, details about some of the news. Even in the section, in the sheet itself, there is like a lot of detail. I'll tell you what are the relevant ones that you should really focus on. Yeah, but yes, before or after, or in fact better still, before as well as after my class and during my class, you're doing it basically three times. First, you're reading it on your own, taking the test, two time ho gaya. Third, before weekly revision, you are expected to go through it once, ek bar revise with me, you will read it, and then after my class you will read again. So 5 levels of revision is already done. The sixth level, the fourth and the final component, will be the weekly test, weekly quiz that we generally do in our FB group. There, based on your pura week reading, my class, multiple revision, you will be again tested. This time in multiple choice format, but little more tougher questions, wherein I'll give you multiple options, something like UPSC kind questions, yeah, out of 4, which is correct. Again, to get your attention and to make you read the news thoroughly. That is one of the changes that has been incorporated by the examiners. I hope you have seen that session by Ravi Sir, wherein he elaborately discussed how the paper pattern has changed. If you haven't done, I'm giving the link in this session, which I'll ask you to watch and then continue watching how the exams have changed. But okay, if you want to continue with this session, I'll just give you the gist. It's very simple. The one-liners have stopped coming. They expect you to go beyond that one line at places even to maybe second and third para. Not just that, read comprehensively, understand the news, and then also be a little curious about the news. These three things have changed over what used to happen earlier. Just the headline, you get your marks. That has stopped happening. Expect to read at least the complete first para. In some part I told, so that first para wala will be like 30-40% of the news maybe. Another 30-40% where you in-depth reading, second paragraph, maybe even third paragraph. Yeah, your ethanol blending wala news was there in third paragraph, if I remember correctly, in SBA Pure 2020. So the level of reading, in-depth understanding of the news, and then there are like some acronym which is there. Were you curious enough to understand what that acronym meant? Yeah, not just its full form, but what it really meant. If there is a new organization which has come into being, where you aware about its, yeah, say the authorized capital, yeah, paid up capital, all that they wanted you to, kind of know. And one thing that I observed, anywhere they find anomaly in the news, ki, if I remember correctly, PIDF wala news mein 500 crore ka it was supposed to have that capital, but at that time it was, yeah, if I remember correctly, something around 390 or the 250 plus 95. That was the figure. And they ask anywhere when they see anomaly, agar if there is a confusion between say 500 versus 390 or 250. So whenever you see there is a news item specifically to the finance and there are chances of multiple interpretation or you're getting different kind of numbers at different places, be more careful about such news. That is my personal observation, what I have seen. Because in the Hindu article, in the latest, I think, SBI clerk exam, if I remember correctly, Umingla Pass wala, that was the news. Yeah, 19,300 feet was like the 1st of August. 30th of August, Hindu May, there's an article talking about the minister who is talking about 18,600 wala. So any such anomaly they are exploiting. That is what I have realized basis my reading. So be little more careful about when you read such news and make immediate note of such thing. Even if there is confusion, just make a note of it and clear it before you kind of go in the examination. I'm quite sure that 18,600 wala bhi option mein pakka rahoga with 19,300 feet. That is how these guys are getting smarter. So we have to kind of outsmart them in thinking. We have to be more careful about our reading as well. So this part I have just told you. As soon as you kind of get enrolled into the program, you will be added to this current affairs ka course as well, right? And this is where my GK GSCA wala part I'm putting everything here. So let me show you what you will get once you kind of enter here. Let me just move out from here. So you will see this CA material for enrolled student. This is not chronologically, I'm just showing the 4th article here. I'll come back to the others. There you will see this current affair ka section, and there you will be taken, once you kind of get into it, you will be taken to the drive where it has a master sheet and a folder with daily news item. Okay, so let me first show you the master sheet. This is how. So today, if it is 22nd, we generally operate on T minus 2 terms because the 20th news would have come on the newspaper, in the newspaper on 21st. It generally takes a day for us to kind of collate, etc. And by 22nd evening, we put, yeah. So as I'm recording this, we have already updated till 20th of October ka news. And here, if you will see, there is how we have kind of classified the information. So first is the one-liner, and then we are giving you, yeah, some more detailed information, and then we are also, if there is a organization, something which is coming, we are giving you some more additional information about it. So you will ask me, sir, Abhi, you said online one-liners are kind of done with, then why are you giving? No. This is also important because we realize the students, when they see so much data, they get overwhelmed by it. For them to even complete a day's news, it becomes boring. So what we suggest to our student is go through this one-liners first, get the context of the news, read it couple of times, which can be done in just, for 20 news item will not take even 10 minutes, 15 minutes to maybe read it twice, and you have the understanding of the news, you know the context, then get into detail, understanding very well that the examiners want you to understand and read news in detail. That pressure should be there at back of your mind. That will take away that boriyat and neend out of the equation, and read it thoroughly. Once you read it, at the same time, I'll ask you to, kind of use this file ka section. Yeah, that's what we ask our student. Download it. At the reading itself, basis your understanding of the past news, that also I'll show you your past papers, highlight the portion which you feel becomes relevant. We also help you in understanding that, but when you read on your own also, just highlight some part of it so that when you revise, yeah, a lot of time is saved there. And then this additional information, and then some additional information which you might have in your head already, add to it here. Yeah, this is editable sheet. Once you download, it's completely yours to work with. Here we have also, yeah, for the source of all the material that we are presenting to you, what becomes the basis for that. It's very simple. For any content that we create in Meritshine, the past paper becomes our source document. Here SBIPO mains, IBPSPO mains 20, RRBPO mains, RRBPO mains 2021. Now add to it the SBI clerk wall exam which recently happened. All that forms the basis, right? That is my, yeah, your, what do I say, the pole star. That kind of continuously keeps me in the correct direction. Otherwise, the world is overflowing with data. So how much information do I really need to collate? How much do I need to present? What is important in that? For that, the source document, the guiding document would be your past paper. Whenever in confusion, which news is important, should I invest more time in it? Read these files multiple times, and then you will have certain clarity about nahi yaar, memorandum of understanding hardly asked, letter of agreement, yeah, of intent, some plan of some of the corporates to set up some industries in some say states just before the election, they haven't been asked. At least in last 3 4 5 years we haven't seen such questions. But any scheme by the government, by the state government, any interesting initiative by any of the your state or central government, any new development by the banks, if they are coming up with some interesting app, etc., the highest motorable road, yeah, some maybe now they can ask you the highest point where they have put up a EV charging station. All such news become interesting, but not the MOUs and LOAs and the IIT ka some collaboration or the bank assurance deal. How many bank assurance deal question you have? And again, okay, let me give you a tip here. I have realized wherever you have that multiple partners doing it with multiple other partners, like SBI doing it with, say, Max ka also, and if that matter, LIC also, or I'm just giving some random example, and LIC also doing with ICICI also, and other say in the Sandy Bank also, then that news, that kind of news basically loses significance, because then there's a lot of confusion, and how much can you really retain if they actually even ask which of the following has tied up with, say, Max Insurance and the 4 bank option, in which 3 banks have tied up. We haven't really seen such questions. So why invest time on that? Why not on the real important ones, looking at the past paper? That's where we should focus on. That's what we continuously suggest to you during the course as well. So these become my pole star. They keep me level headed and in direction of where I should focus on, right? Then if you will see here on this sheet, the same news we are also putting in your PDF and Word format. You will ask why? Because some of the students have found it difficult to read on the Excel sheet. I am personally, I really do not know why, because I have personal liking for this Google Sheet because it gives me a lot of flexibility. But since they wanted in the PDF form, we put it. Then some students said, "Nahi sir, we want to add our own points," so we gave that Word document also. So till 20th October, everything is kind of updated by 22nd ka evening. Then I told you, once you are done reading this news, what you are expected to do is take a quiz. So on 20th October ka on 20th October, after reading the daily news, you are expected to go through this quiz. Yeah. Once you take this quiz here, there are like 17 questions here. If I go back, please note this will not be the same one-liners which are here. Here, I will be asking you questions from these sections. The detailed section say will ask you questions so that you will also feel happy that yes, you have read this section properly, and when being tested, it's like RC wala part here because the news your examiners also expect you to read news in detail. That is our expectation also. When we're giving a news, we are presenting some more additional information. Are you able to read it and retain it in this test or not? So once you're done with this daily wala test, then comes my live class. So I think yesterday only we did this class. Yeah, till week 5, till September we are done. Next week I plan to kind of complete your last 3 weeks of October also, right? And there you kind of on the course portal again, here itself you will have that link. You kind of click, you will be taken through the session here. So till 30th we have completed. Till yesterday it was completed here till 19th October. Today it's updated till 20th. The same sheet is what I kind of take you through. And finally, what did I tell you? We also test you on the news item which were taken. So last week this post is there, 20th to 25th I had done. We again test you in the FB group, but these questions are little more in depth. Yeah, something like the UPSC question. Yeah, 4 options which is not true, which is false. You never know. That you can start seeing even in your SBI PO going forward. The kind of changes that we have seen in the question pattern, nothing is impossible now for them to ask. So that's what we are kind of preparing you towards. Now you understand when I showed this slide to you what I meant by first going through the master sheet. There also first go through the one-liners couple of times, followed by which you read the news in detail, and then you kind of get tested on that detailed news from in the daily quiz, right? If you make mistake, go back, read again, right? You do that process 7 days. Even in these 7 days, on day 2, basically you're also supposed to revise the day 1. And trust me, when you have 20 news item and the detailed news item, it will take you something like 1 hour to read. The next day in revision, it will take you maximum 10-15 minutes. Trust me, that's the power of revision. It happens much say quicker than your first reading. And if you have added your notes, if you have highlighted, etc., it becomes even more smoother. So your reading done, your test, daily test done, and multiple revision this weekly wala. You go back and do multiple revision, and then wait for my live class. I take you through all the news once again. Everything kind of comes back for that week, and then I test you again on the FB group with some difficult questions. That is the level of revision and multiple exposure we'd like to give you on that GK GACA wala section. Okay, so that's for the my part. And now let me also tell you in brief about what Ravi sir is doing for you in your BAFA wala part. So again, let me move out from here. Yeah, he is a little more comprehensive. So when I asked him, I expected him to do only financial awareness session as I was doing for current awareness, etc. And then students started facing problem with lot of terms which they were not knowing. For me, I have that liberty. Matlab, everyone knows all the terms which are used in general parlance. But for banking awareness and financial awareness, it also becomes important for people with, say, a humanitarian background, etc. They are not well versed with this financial term. So he said, first, let me make them aware about the basics of this banking industry, banking and financial industry, and hence he has taken upon himself this. I not even requested. So he's taking you through the fundamentals of banking, wherein talks about the NPCI, one of the most important organization today for the banking industry, the entire history of banking system, what are NBFCs, your changing environment in the fintech, yeah, your global financial crisis, how it happened, yeah, how where what are the latest trend in the banking sector, all that. Along with that, then students also talked about, so there are like a lot of terms, something like inflation, what is capital, what is risk, what is, yeah, various ratios that we read about in the Basel norm, etc. And then he said, okay, chalo, ye bhi aapko kara dete hain. In layman terms, he kind of also explained, so that when he started to do his bank booster series, which were the news, it become very easy for student to comprehend, right? So once you understand the basics, the terminologies involved in the sector, which are generally used in the news, you become comfortable with news. As such, your comprehension of the news increases and your retention of the news increases. So I personally also really liked it. Look at this. I think for the batch 4 wale mein, he has already kind of put some 5 lesson followed by the notes. So NPCI, UPI, types of transaction, banking system in India, right? Then your non-banking financial institution के बारे में, fintech के बारे में is already put. So there are like many such sessions which are planned going forward also. And then, yeah, in the bank booster series, which is nothing but the extension of our GK GA ka part, but the news pertaining to the banking awareness and financial awareness, he will be covering here as the banking booster wala. There he has covered from Feb till your examination, everything will be covered. Okay, so if you will see what is there, he has kind of neatly arranged all these news, also carefully segmented into the bucket. If there is a concept involved, he will explain in detail. If there is a new organization which is coming into the picture, he will talk about in detail, some detail when to establish current leader, what form it is going to take, all that will be covered in detail by him as well. Okay, so that is in nutshell that I had to kind of let you know about our GK, GA, yeah, CA, FA, BA ka section, how we are splitting it, what is there for you in offer. We'll talk about it once you kind of join the course. Then we'll talk in more detail about which ones to focus on more, how now the prescription which we had for the batch 1 student who joined in December, January will be very different from what we will advise to the batch 4 student, because they have uh, less time, comparatively less time. So, I cannot expect them to read everything leisurely. I'll ask them to kind of pick and choose topics and focus on certain areas more at this point in time. So all that you will get to once you kind of join the course. But yes, you asked me about what we do for our students in this section. So this is the brief which I had to. You see, this is like the samandar which we have opened. Yeah, of course, depending upon at which point in time you have joined, I'll ask you which vessel आपको बड़ा बाल्टी लेना है या छोटा कटोरे से निकाल के अपना काम चलाना है. That we will suggest during the course. But yes, anything and everything that we could possibly and humanly do, we have tried to do it comprehensive. That's what Meritshine tries to do for you. We try to be as comprehensive as possible. And even for the current student in the batch 4, it will be possible with our guidance, whatever section we are telling you. This, if somebody is telling you you can just read in the last 15 days and score a 20 plus, he's just fooling you. You're only reading the one liners, maybe 10-12 marks is where you will end in last 10-15 days. So do not wait till you clear your prelims. That irrespective of whether you join this course or not, do not proceed with that mentality. Start from today itself. Huge amount of data has happened in spite of all the lockdowns and the covids and slowing down of economy, but the news hasn't slowed. There is plenty of news for you to cover, so get started with right away. And without multiple revision, GK is nothing. No matter how brilliant you are, you can, unless you have made mnemonic, you have pegged it in your memory, it will not stick. So UP tha, MP tha, Meghalaya tha, Mizoram tha, under examination pressure, you will start to crumble. So multiple revision is the only way out that will allow retention, that will make it easier for you to recall during the pressure of the examination. So please do not take it lightly. Yeah, start from right away. I will suggest at least 2 hours you should give for this section to score a 25 plus. 25 plus now, given the kind of question they have started asking now, is a good score. 30 or touching is brilliant score. Please uh, remember, now 40 on 40 will be a little difficult. Anything above 30 though is like magnificent score. That much I can say. If the paper is of a similar level to what it was in the SBIPO, if it was something similar to IBPSPO 2020, 40 में 40, you are not getting a 35 plus, then it's bad. Yeah, so that's how things differ. But looking at the current pattern, SBI clerk, RRB PO wala bhi, that's general indication. IBPS is the one which is setting all the papers, right? So you get the feel that yes, they are kind of ready to experiment, they are ready to play. For that, start, keep 2 hours aside, and this will help you in many other things also, right? Going forward, your English ka comprehension speed, trust me, इस बार इतनी जीके पढ़ाई है, मेरा भी, I have realized that my reading speed has also increased. Yeah, I'm able to read much faster. My comprehension has also improved. That will happen to you as well. The banking and financial awareness and news that you focus on will help you even maybe in the descriptive, then in the interview, and maybe if your GD happens in the normal format to impress your panel. Yeah, the normal real gyan, the crisp gyan with substance will definitely impress anyone. So start filling your vessels with this knowledge that we have kind of poured in front of you, and I'm quite sure you will do well. Irrespective of where you're preparing from, get started now. That would be my suggestion, and that is all I have to kind of offer at this point in time. If you have any other specific question, you can put down in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. Maybe in the comment section itself, if there's like a lot of doubt on anything, if it warrants another video, why not? I'll be ready to do that also. But guys, don't waste any time. Get started would be my message. All the best.